from Julio Cruz and Gaylord Perry to Alvin Davis and Harold Reynolds to father and son back-to-back bombs, from Junior J, Joey, and Edgar with Randy, A-Rod, Dan, and the Sheriff, to Ichiro Moyer and Mikey C, to King Felix, Kyle Cruz, and Cano, to the present with Julio, Gilbert, Kirby, and Cal. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my, it's another sports podcast. My, oh my, our Mariners had a really up and down 10-game road trip, and we are now in conference finals season for the winter sports. It's my, oh my, it's another sports podcast. Got to give a huge shout out to super producer Indy out there in Nashville, Tennessee, rocking the ones and twos. That's Vaden Podcast Services. Vaden Podcast Services. They bring the show to life. Got to give a huge shout out to all the homies in the live chat. We're rolling a day late. RG is on the grind this weekend, but we're coming to you live on Memorial Day evening. There is no words we can say to express our appreciation to all of the fallen soldiers that gave their lives for us and our country. All we can do is say thank you and may their families be blessed. But of course, the best co-host a dude can ask for. He's been a terrorist since the public school era. RG, what's going on, man?
Back then, I was rocking the number 2 pencil, and you better watch your back. For God's sakes, man. I want to give a big shout out to all the fallen that we lost and the people who have given and sacrificed their lives to make something like this possible, where we can just sit back and talk sports and not have to worry about things on the other side of the equation. I think about my buddy Jordan and his cousin Brandon. I got a chance to meet that dude when I was 23 years old. He had just survived a tour of Iraq, but he lost 4 of his troop mates while he was out there, and he felt it was his duty to go back and fight for their honor. And within a year, a bullet found him and took his life too. So when you have when you have a first front row view of something like that, and just the sacrifices and the things that mean a lot to those people, man, this weekend is all about them. Shout out to them.
Yeah, no doubt, RG, no doubt. And the selflessness of these people cannot be understated. I'll be a complete open book, man. When it was my time to decide what I wanted to try to do with my life out of high school, one of the first things I thought was, I'm not going to go to the Middle East and die for a bunch of rich people. These people are able to look past my selfish and ways of looking at things in this world, and they paid the ultimate sacrifice. And like you said, we all do what we want to do right now because of this people, and we cannot thank you enough. So just God bless all of these families and friends that have been deeply affected.
Well, hold on. Let me grab something real quick. Keep talking.
Uh-oh. All right, man. Well, Tyson Baxter, what's up? It's good to have you. We came a day late, man. We are off to a late start Sunday, but y'all know what time it is, man. I hope Tay Williams isn't coming in here tonight because the Astros took it to our beloved Mariners over the weekend. It started out great, too. Fantastic. We go down to San Diego and sweep them for 3 games. I know San Diego's been on the struggle bus for a minute now. They're still a World Series contender. And then we go to the south side of Chicago. We face one of the worst teams baseball has ever seen. And we're able to get two wins out of 3 games. All right, we're doing fine. Then we go down to Houston, RG, 1 out of 3. God damn it, man. Oh, I love it. For y'all that can't see, I know what that is. That's the American flag, probably from RG's grandpa, World War II. The exact flag that's given to the family members when a man in military service has passed away. Thank you, Grandpa. And I said thank you to both mine, too, because they went out there and did their thing. And I know my grandpa's part of a really historic story, RG, but that's neither here nor there, bro. God bless all these troops, but tell me about the weekend the Mariners land for you, bro.
Oh, man. So, interesting week for us. We got to see the return of Kirby come back and see how healthy he was and he wasn't. Indy and I were having a conversation off chatting. In the group chat that we have for the show, and just a tough team for him to try to come back against. You could definitely tell he didn't have his A game uh, down there in Houston. But for us to have the week we did and still sitting today in first place, overall can't be mad at it. Felt Houston just showed why they're big brother against us. And even though over the last 2 years we have a good season record against them, we still got to be able to beat them when it counts. So good round one. You caught us, gave us a good little shot. We'll see him again.
Yeah, we absolutely will. And I've seen a lot of people on social media and a lot of people in general, media members, baseball guys, etc., getting really down on the Mariners over the Houston series, and I get it. I think you got to go down there and go 2-2, but it's still a 6-4 road trip, RG. And no matter how we slice it, if I told you we're going on a 10-game swing and 3 of them are going to be at San Diego, 4 of them are going to be at Houston, I would have told you I'd be happy with 6-4. I'm not happy with how the weekend went. We could get a little more into detail about that. But what do you think about the Mariners' offense right now? I'm starting to get a little worried that we might be coming back to earth a bit.
Bound to happen. Bound to happen. One of the things that we've talked about on this show numerous times is that baseball returns back to the mean. So while Cal is still look, if Aaron Judge wasn't hitting 400, Cal would be in first place votes for the MVP right now in the American League. Getting great production out of him. Every other time you pick up a look at the box score, Master Boney's doing something, and we're getting enough to keep us close, but we're not getting enough to really help us get separation. If there was one thing we can compare that magical 2001 season to where we stand at currently, we can't seem to run away. And last year, while we were running away, one bad game led to another, one bad game led to another. And when you looked up again, it was tied and you couldn't believe it. I say we give some of these dudes in the lower leagues a shot, man. I just don't know where this spark is going to come from. I believe, what was it? Einstein said, you try the same thing over and over again, that's just insanity. And it seems like that's all we're doing is trying to do the best with what we can and then not doing anything really to shake it up. And the downside to me is when they play well, it's almost like it's a double-edged sword. Because if we play well, then the powers that be are just going to sit back and just be like, we told you, we told you, we told you. Things start going bad, and then it's, well, be patient. We don't have enough to really go out and do anything to make a splash. And it just seems to turn into the same old story. So since we can't go out and find it in free agency, might not be able to find it on the trade market this year, give some of these young guys a shot. Just whatever it takes to get a spark that we can hopefully maintain and keep rolling with. I'm down for whatever it is that they want to do. But just sitting back and playing for the 10-game winning streak just frustrates me with our office. It just does.
Well, okay, let's look at some facts here then, RG, because this team, you're right, they're gonna regression to the mean. They're gonna come back to the pack a little bit, but this offense was awesome in all of April for the most part. But I'm looking at this, RG. Since May 10th, they're back to the highest K rate in baseball. They're second to last in batting average and 24th in OPS. So a team that was hitting the ball well in all areas, small ball, home runs, walks, etc., has really kind of struggled across the board in the month of May. And part of that is you talk about regression to the mean right there. Jorge Polanco was hitting like Ted Williams early in the season. I'm a huge Polanco fan, so are you. He was not going to hit 370 with a home run every other game. That shit just wasn't sustainable. But I want to talk to you about those young bucks you were just referring to, RG. Now, the first two I'm going to talk about are probably 4A players, but nonetheless, we got guys that can't even hit 200 that are getting regular ABs right now. Dominic Canzone has a 282 average with 12 home runs and a 932 OPS. Samad Taylor's hitting 329 with 9 home runs and a 957 OPS. Those dudes are crushing it. Will it translate to the big leagues? Their track records honestly say no, but we got guys that can't hit out of a wet paper bag right now on the big league squad. Like you're saying, maybe give some dudes a chance. I want to go to your boy Harry Ford, at only age 22 in Tacoma, has hit 301 with an 874 OPS on the season. And RG, in the month of May, your boy Harry Ford is at 394 with a 1.095 OPS in the month of May, on fire. It might be about that time. Cole Young, age 21, middle infielder, in the month of May has hit 345 with a 1.103 OPS. Dog. We got a couple of veterans in AAA and a couple of young hot prospects that are playing to the level where we should bring them up. And that's why I got to ride with you, man. These guys are earning their trips. No free passes, but if these guys play their way up, man, they got to get a shot, especially when we have too many black holes right now at the dish.
What was Julio hitting when we brought him up?
I don't think he was hitting
Do you,
all
do
that
you,
well, but he was a different scenario though. He kind of won his job out of spring training in his first big league season. So he played in the minors, and then it was like him and Kellenic trying to see if they could make the big league squad out of spring training, and both dudes did.
all right, okay. I strike while the iron's hot. Strike while the iron's hot. You see it time and time again. Well, history has a chance of proving it right. Bring the guys up. They have a couple good weeks until there's enough tape on them for a pitching staff to be able to figure them out. Maybe that's just enough of the spark we need to be able to help us create some offensive separation from it. As much as I believe in our pitching staff, and I know that we've had injuries, Houston has just as many injuries in their pitching staff as we do, maybe not even more. A team like the Dodgers has 10 pitchers out right now, all up and down their roster. And they still seem to find ways to next man up, get something done, keep us in here long enough for our offenses to be able to go out and do something. I don't know if we're going to have that luxury with our offensive inequalities, as it seems that we run into from season to season and season. Tommy says that Julio was hitting like 320 in the minors. Okay, touche. Um, Gotta try something. Gotta try something. You definitely don't want us to become stagnant, and we definitely don't want to go through a few weeks of giving this bandaged up pitching staff a bunch of fearless performances. We need to be able to get something done. Then what pops into my mind too is timing in life is everything. If we make the move now and we use up that Mario superstar to be able to let us run through Mario Kart and just get everybody out, what happens when we get to the end of the dog days of summer and we need that spark again? Do we or are we playing to just see if we can maintain over the next 6 weeks to get to the All-Star break, or what is it that we're really doing?
Well, I think we'll have a good
But we
litmus
have to do
test.
something.
We'll have a good litmus test. Washington Nationals coming to town for the very next series. If we can't
Oh
do
man,
work
you
on
know how
them,
that goes. You know how playing Washington goes. And we lose against Washington, the season's over.
shit, I'll be pissed. And I try to be even keel, but that one would piss me off, man. But we'll really know. And then okay. So I'm looking at the schedule right now. They have the Nationals, the Twins, the Orioles, and the Angels. We'll find out a lot about this team because they honestly, there's a winning record or two in there. But those are some of the dregs of the league. No offense, Tyson Baxter. No one thought your Orioles would be as bad as the White Sox. But that's why we play these games in real life, not on paper, bro. But you're right, man. Our pitching staff needs some help, man. And I'm just looking at it right now. Luis Castillo has been a little bit rocky at times, but he's really evened the ship out for himself with a 3.32 ERA on the year. And in the month of May at only 3.00, Luis Castillo is starting to get his work done the way we want him to. And then, unfrickin' believable, Brian Wu. We're going to have another All-Star. We're going to have another different All-Star as a pitcher, man. We got to help these dogs out. 2.40 ERA overall and RG in May, 1.71. Brian Wu is absolutely balling.
I remember when we were having the conversations last year and everybody was talking about trade bait. And Kirby was the one who was untouchable. And I was like, nah, the guy who's untouchable is Brian Wu. Because he is the most like Logan that we have on this staff. I'm here to dominate. Where's the mound? Let's go out and do this. And he's proven his worth. He's proven his worth. Last week alone, when it looked like we had the potential for the bottom to fall out of it, what does he do? Goes out there and shuts the Yankees down. Goes out there and gives San Diego all he can. This week he proves more of the same, that he is the number 2 guy. And that's no disrespect to Castillo. That's no disrespect to Castillo at all. But Wu has absolutely earned that shining star that should go by his name every time that we mention it. Wu was just the man. And we were talking about coming up next week. Can't sleep on the Angels, man. Can't sleep on the Angels. They're 8-2 in their last 10 and just creeping right there on the door. That's a scary team to be able to play. They seem to find a way to get offense out of guys that we've never heard of before. Maybe I'm sleeping on Tyler Ward, but that dude just seems to be the man. Getting it done without Trout. Just got to keep an eye on them. But again, a lot of baseball to be able to be played. I wouldn't say too much. Texas Power Ranger Jacob deGrom didn't even get a strikeout today for the first time in his career. So you might want to watch it, Texas Power Rangers. Don't come in here hot.
Okay, so I'm seeing some of the homies in the live chat talking about Julio hitting 330, 320 in the minors. Well, then I think it's about time for Harry Ford and Cole Young to get this shot, man. I mean, these guys are top 100 prospects for a reason. And what do I look for, RG? It's simple, just like on the Moneyball movie, man. Does your guy actually hit well? And these guys are hitting well because we can project, we can imagine all we want. But I want to know, is this guy hitting at each level along the way? Because although the Mariners tend to pull pitchers out of their ass, where guys like Bryce Miller and Brian Wu don't have great stats in Double-A, come up and are effective immediately, it doesn't seem to work that way for hitters, RG. Either you know how to hit or you can't. And I want to say this about Julio, is I still think things are looking up. He has always been a notorious slow starter. He only hit 202 in the month of April, but in the month of May, he's up to 276 with a 786 OPS for the month. And on the year, his K rate is 6.4% lower than in 24, and his walk rate is 2% higher than in 2024. RG, I definitely predict Julio is going to have a couple streaks where he carries this ball club, and we're going to need him right now because this is a really feisty group, but I honestly think that they're punching above their weight class right now, man.
We're doing the best we can with what we got. And I think that we're built better than what I even may give us credit for sometimes on this broadcast. But I also talk from the perspective is I know how this story ends. And I want to get to the chapter where Bambi's mom is supposed to die and to see if we can finally avoid the bullet that causes the heartbreak. Only one time in DePito's tenure have we dodged a bullet that causes the heartbreak. I don't want us to be a repeat of the same old. But we have to be able to get something done in order to be able to not make that happen. And maybe it's a lot to ask for on Memorial Day since we still got a bulk of the season left. But you know how this trend happens to look. If we don't do it now, if not now, then when? And if not those two, then who? Where is it that we're going to find the spark to come back from? And how much longer are we going to be without Robles? How much longer are we going to be without Kirby? How much longer are we going to be without Miller? When we come back on paper, we should be able to compete with it. But we do need We do need some certain sparks to make sure that we don't hit that lull. Because it's right around this time every year where we hit the lull, and then we get back to the middle and the end of September, and we're scratching our heads looking at the schedule, going, where did those 3 wins go that could have got us into the playoffs? Last year was a series against Kansas City that everyone just blew off like, it's June. And then come to find out that we really needed that series against Kansas City because they had us trumped in all the factors in order to be able to win the tiebreakers to get into the playoffs.
Well, this is where it's tough, too, because we have some fun banter in the live chat about each other's teams right now. But here's the bottom line for me, RG, is this is the big leagues. Everybody has world-class baseball players. I don't foresee Marcus Semien and Peterson to suck all season. I definitely expect Christian Walker to get it going. God forbid we saw it firsthand. You text us, we just gave up the game-winning homer. And Christian Walker, a huge target by Mariners fans. He signs with Houston, obviously. He's had a terrible season. Terrible. But then he hits a fucking walk-off home run to break our hearts and win the series 3-1. That's Major League Baseball. Guys, if you look at their stat sheet, might look dog shit terrible, but they're talented enough to turn it around at any second. That's why the Mariners have to do so right now, and what better way to start than the Nationals? I'm getting pumped. Sometimes losing pumps me up more than winning, RG, because it kind of like, it fires me up. You know, when you're winning, you're feeling good, man. And winning, unless you have like that Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan gene, a lot of us need to kind of be on the losing end to really get that dog burning up inside of us. So, Mariners, let's fucking go. And you're right. Health is going to be critical. We need to get these guys back sooner rather than later, because look at George Kirby. I still think he's a world-class pitcher, but boy, he didn't last very long, and he got hit pretty hard in his first start back from injury from the spring.
We're definitely going to need to get him healthy. We avoid Gore. We avoid Mackenzie Gore until Thursday. So we got 2 opportunities to be able to get it done against some of their bottom tier. But Gore's been on fire this year. Getting Felix by his team and not getting enough to help out, but that guy is just up there just striking people out left and right. Bad matchup for the Mariners on Thursday.
Ooh, who do we have going?
We haven't announced anyone yet.
Oh, great. It's probably a bullpen game then, man. Boy, I do not like those. Hey, speaking of bullpen was shaky early in the season, RG, but I feel like even though Legumina gave up the game the other night, I feel that was honestly probably more on Dan Wilson there. Legumina pitched 2 innings the day before. You bring him back in a critical situation against the heart of the lineup. With Munoz still in the bullpen, that's his 9th inning. I think that maybe Dan made a mistake there. I'm not one to vilify managers too much day to day. They make so many decisions, and some of them are made by the front office even, that you got to look at the totality. A manager is going to make 100 right decisions and 70 wrong decisions, and that's if he's a good manager. So let's just leave that there, unless you want to go any further. But I want to ask you, man, how do you feel about the bullpen?
There's times I miss motherfucker Jones. Munoz definitely has the talent. He has the stuff. To me, it's more about the dude's mentality. Where is he between his ears? I don't know how far we are from getting Brash back. Again, what we're looking at with our bullpen now, I don't think is the final product that we'll be coming down the home stretch with. Hopefully we can get some guys healthy and some different arms, but I don't know how I feel about Bastardo, or even I can't pronounce the guy's name you just said. I'm not gonna lie to you. And then I live in New Mexico. I should be able to say that off the tip of my tongue. I'm not sure how I feel about those guys yet. I'll tell you this, though, about Bastardo. I didn't realize he was as little as he was until I seen him in person when I went to the Anaheim game last year.
See a little guy that fires that fucker?
Absolutely. Just where he gets that strength from. To be able to fire that thing the way he does. we'll get there. I also didn't really have a lot of faith in Kendall Graveman when early in his tenure with the Mariners, and I was one of the first people cussing us out when we got rid of him. I I had no idea where we found this guy from South Dakota whose hat is too big, who doesn't throw an electric fastball, but he became one of my most favorite Mariners in recent history. So we got to give these guys still a chance to just develop. It's still early. The ship's not sinking, but we definitely don't want anything in this offense or in our bullpen to trend towards the wrong direction. We may not be able to win the division in May, but we damn sure can play ourselves out of contention already.
Oh, absolutely.
Shout out
Absolutely.
Baltimore Orioles.
And that's the point. That's the point, man. Like a lot of my friends, RG, they get at me. They're like, man, you only care about being 500 by the time June hits. I'm like, that's all you need to be, because you're still in the race. And you always reference it. The Mariners had an epic collapse. Just happened in June and not September. Otherwise, it'd be remembered by everybody in baseball. Oh, boy. Tyson doesn't like us talking about those bums. But that's the case in point, though. We're not even in June yet, RG, and Tyson can't even root for his team right now because they done.
Well, at least he's not a Rockies fan.
Oh, boy. Woo. Woo. So the White Sox set the record for losses last year. The Rockies are going to try to break it. I'm going to have to look this up. It's time to go pilfer and plumage the goddamn Rockies, man. I think the Mariners should be knocking on their door, man, because the Rockies might want to set a huge reset on that franchise if they possibly
Ryan
can.
McMahon. Paging Ryan McMahon.
That's him. Yeah. Ooh. And I love Ben Williamson, but if we could get a dude like that at third base. And I want to mention this, RG. We haven't talked about it a ton this year. And Rowdy Tellez has been solid. He's done about as much as you can ask from him. He's not going to be an average guy, but he's slugging the shit out of the ball and taking his walks. He's doing his job, what we pay him to do. But damn it, bro. The Mariners again. Where's the production at third, first, and DH? Those are supposed to be power production positions. And once again, we're searching for answers.
The joys of holding the bag of a business deal gone wrong. But yet they had enough to remodel the warehouse across the street to try to get some funds for Stanton's pocket after games by you drinking your miseries away down there in Soho.
Oh, yeah. They bought the Pyramid Brewery, turned it into the Hatback Grill, no doubt about that. And of course, RG, my personal favorite. Ooh, we're the Seattle Mariners. We're going to upgrade and renovate the press boxes. Woo! We are going to literally pay off the people so they don't talk shit about us to the fans, man. We know what they're doing.
Absolutely,
here.
Man. Absolutely. It's sad to see. I really wish we had an aggressive ownership group who saw the potential that we had and would invest money in it. I don't know any good drug dealer who doesn't make his money in the re-up except for those guys up there on the corner of Edgar and Dave.
Hey, but they depend on the Fiends, man, because they keep coming back, and that's going to be me on Saturday as well, bro.
Man, somebody's going to a game,
huh? Oh, shit, man. It's something else being a Mariners fan. Tough end of the weekend, but I still gotta say it, dude. 6-4 on the road trip would have been just nice to come out 7-3 because they set themselves up so well.
Absolutely, man. Hopefully Tyson will let the Orioles come through and just let us sweep them. It's the most he can do for us. Always happy to have everybody in the live chat rocking with us, man. But yeah, it's put up or shut up time, and it sucks that we're there already, but you have already seen we went head to head with Big Brother, and Big Brother had to tap us again and let us know that they're still in charge. And when they get their pitching staff back, and what is it about Altuve? Why does he hate us so much? I thought he only hated the Yankees, but nah, man, that dude hates us.
He has always done that to us too.
I'm not sure what.
I'm a little bit concerned. I can't lie. I'm a little bit concerned because Jeremy Pena, he's been a good player from day one. He's taken his shit to the next level this year and is playing like an absolute true all-star at shortstop. And then, I wanted Isak Paredes
Sure did.
badly
You
at
sure
the
did.
trade deadline on the Mariners last year, and he's been fucking with us too. So don't blink, man. Not only do they have the winning pedigree, they trade away all these guys, they lose all these guys in free agencies. You talk about the re-up. Dude, they got the re-up straight, man, when it comes to replenishing that lineup.
Where do they get them from, too? They play around in free agency, and they call and bring guys up when they see the need to. We try, and we'll look down. But if the mark is Julio to be able to come up from the farm system, then what's the point of keeping it? Blow it out, get some value out of it, and see if you can actually get us some Major League Baseball players.
They got to jump out into the deep end at some point anyways. We bring up Cal Raleigh. He struggles, is a little bit overwhelmed. He goes back to AAA. He's come back up, has a $100 million contract. And as of right now, RG, the national landscape might not know it. Cal is literally one of the best players in baseball. Eye test or sabermetrics. The dude is 6th in WAR and 6th in OPS. That doesn't even include calling the games, the way he manages the pitching staff, the way he handles the pitcher's emotions out there. Cal Raleigh, you're right. You said this off mic. If it wasn't for Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh's your MVP.
Sure is. Sure is. Absolutely. Absolutely. Joys of being a Mariner fan, isn't it great, buddy?
Oh god, they got me, man. It is no secret I'm a Mariners fiend, man. One of my oldest friends I saw earlier today, I played t-ball with in kindergarten. We played baseball together and against each other forever. He always teased me, "Hey, you still true to the blue?" Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That drug is real. That drug is real. I can't find a way to shake it, and every time I try to leave, something keeps pulling me back.
Yeah, it's like that Eminem song with the Mariners, man, for real.
Sure is, man. Sure is. But again, a lot of baseball to be able to be played. Let's hope for some health along the way, and let's find a way to get right in these next 7 games against some teams that we should be competing with. And the Twins too. We can't really sleep on the Twins. They were, yeah.
No, they're hot as shit. They're one game better than the Mariners as we speak.
They sure are, and they still have that guy I can't stand, Carlos Correa.
Dude. Oh, I was glad to see him leave Houston. Man, should we address the elephant in the room that's made me sick to my stomach?
We have to.
You could probably
We
read my
have
mind
to.
right now.
We have
Fantastic basketball game. I'm sick to my stomach, man. The OKC Thunder look really fucking good, dude.
They do. They really do. They are giving Anthony Edwards fits. And it's like the NBA is looking for his moment to crown him next. And for the second time in the conference finals, he's kind of letting them down. But OKC just has the cure for what ails you when it comes to Anthony Edwards. They're able to run defender after defender after defender at him. And then if he gets by them, he's got elite shot blocking in the middle of the paint to try to deal with. Styles make fights, and just Oklahoma City, man, they're better than what we've been really willing to give them credit for. As SGA kind of had a letdown the other night, coming into Minnesota, only scored 14 points, a career low for him in the playoffs. But then you see what the MVP of the league does tonight. Bounces back and gives him 40. His tag team partner gives him 31. Time we leave. And Minnesota's in this game the entire second half. Just would not go away, but just aren't getting what they need from Anthony Edwards and honestly Julius Randle as well, too.
Yeah. Wow, actually, you couldn't be more right. I didn't realize that. Randall only had 5 points on 1 of 7 shooting. So he legit had a terrible performance. You said it, though, man. Dude, OKC's got so much length. They have these great perimeter wing defenders like Lou Dort, who is just an absolute
All
pest out there.
defense.
So long, so quick. So long, so quick. And then you have all that backup. But dude, I'd be lying if I said I've watched a ton of SGA because Oklahoma, as good as they are, 64 wins, I believe, this year, they're not a huge national TV team. And I only get national TV games living up here in the greater Seattle area. SGA is so smooth, bro. He is so smooth. He really is a fun player to watch. I can't
He
lie.
is. He's a throwback to the type of basketball that made me fall in love with it. He doesn't come out and shoot 95 threes a game, not just looking for his stats. Dude does what it takes. Even in his signature moment tonight, he gets caught driving in the middle of the paint, almost loses his footing, is able to keep his pivot foot down, throws the ball 5-hole underneath the defender's legs to hit Williams for a three, just to be able to kill Minnesota's momentum. Guy has absolutely earned his keep. And I want to give a shout out to his cousin too, Nikhil Alexander Walker. Just dude is just coming up in big moments. He's trying his best to fill the gap for what they're not getting out of their two superstars. But tonight was good TV. Tonight was really, really good TV. Game 5 is Wednesday. See if they can put the nail in the coffin and see if they can go do what Sean Kemp and Gary Payton couldn't do and bring a championship to a franchise that used to be the
Oh, you
Seattle
son of a bitch.
Supersonics.
Oh, you son of a bitch. You really had to go there. For real, though, man, you were talking about them locking up Anthony Edwards. I'm just looking at this shit right here, dude. If I told you the T-Wolves got 64 bench points, I think we'd both think they would have won that ball game. That's serious. That's really serious, D. And I want to talk to you about this then really quickly, RG, is because I believe it's going to be now the 7th or 8th straight different NBA champion in a league that usually has dynasties. Commissioner Adam Silver's been on record saying that he doesn't like the dynasties as much. He wants more of a year-to-year NFL type of feel where small markets and every fan and every player feel like they have a championship opportunity. Do you like this, Adam? Minus the 3-pointers, just in terms of the league feels a lot more equal. I don't see us having any dynasties anytime soon. What do you think of this new
The
style of the
league
2020s
does
NBA?
feel more open than it has with the NBA that I grew up with. Here's where my problem trying to keep everything together with it is. As much parity as he wants in the league, and he's gotten since 2019, what do you think the people who pay those massive advertising contracts are going to say when the NBA Finals this year has the potential to be Oklahoma City, Indianapolis? No one from New York's going to give a duck. No one from LA is going to care. No one from Chicago is going to care. No one from Houston is going to care. No one from Texas is going to care. Those are your major markets that drive up your rating numbers. And without them having a dog in the fight, if you live on the East Coast, you're not staying up till 9 o'clock to watch the start of one of these games. They may want parity, but they are dying for the Knicks to find a way to win 3 more games to get into the finals. It's honestly, as much as it sucks to say, it's the only team that's going to really save them. You really think that Amazon really wants SGA versus Halliburton? As much as a basketball fan, I like to be able to see it. That's not what they pay that money for. That's not what Nike pays money for. That's not what Kia pays money for. And that's not what go on to some of their bigger advertisers. They have made the league is more fair than it's ever been, but there's no star power in it. But I guess we can kind of say that across the board with some other effects too. Other than the NFL, because the NFL is just a different beast all to its own. Hockey survives just because their hardcore fan base is going to be attached regardless of who's there. Major League Baseball gave you what you wanted, and you didn't even know you needed it until you saw Dodgers Yankees, and went balls out for the entire production staff. And the NBA is going to follow 9 months later with Oklahoma City, Indiana. The Who's got the fastest tractor championship. It's tough, man. It really is tough for them. As fair as I think it is, and it also too is that they're looking for what sticks out to me right now too is between Brunson in New York, Halliburton in Indianapolis, Shea in Oklahoma City, and Ant in Minnesota. Those are the faces of your new wave of the NBA. And even with Shea being in the mix, only 3 of them are American. The international appeal of the NBA has just grown and grown and grown, and they're trying to deny it. I'll tell you something else that's happened too. 7 straight NBA MVPs, not one of them is an American. Joel Embiid has gotten citizenship, but if we're counting where he was at the time that he got it, no, no. Yeah. All-star duos, the stats that's on TV right now. SGA and Jalen Williams tonight, 74 points, 26 of 54 from the field, 48% field goal shooting, and 50% from the three. Between Edwards and Randall, 21 points, 6 of 20 shooting, 30% field goal, and only hit 10% of their three-pointers. And Ant led the league in three-point shooting this year. I know everybody wants to turn him into the new Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan was going into the Garden giving you 63 points, even if it was in a loss. Maybe the lights are too bright this time of year for Ant, and I don't want to be the first one to say it, but I think I just kind of did.
We'll see. He has time on his side. He has time on his side. I'm gonna ride with Mike every single day of the week when we talk about the peak of the mountain in hoops. But we gotta be real, man. What did he have? It took him like what 6, 7, 8 years to finally win a championship. So I'm gonna give these young cats some time to grow and develop. But at the same side, like you're saying, SGA is only what a couple years older. So at some point, it's gotta happen. It's gotta happen. The one thing I'll say is this man was actually the GM of the Seattle Supersonics and has kept his job that entire time. But Sam Presti knows what he's doing. I would probably take him over any other single GM in the NBA.
Absolutely. And with what he's been able to build, and he has, well, how did Kendrick say? How many shots do I really have in stock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. That dude's still sitting on 12 movable first round draft picks.
Okay, I got a quick question then. Quick, are they
I don't know if
legitimate
they
in the
need.
Giannis sweepstakes this offseason?
I don't know if they actually. I don't know
Okay,
if they need
okay.
Giannis. Not that
Do
I
you believe
believe
in
in
Chet
Chet
Holmgren
Holmgren
enough to be like,
enough,
nah, we
but
don't need that cat?
taking the ball away from SGA to make Giannis the focal point of what they do, I don't see if that happens. And I also don't see Giannis wanting to go into a situation where he's not the guy. Yeah. But with that,
It's gonna take a huge haul. So there's really only a couple or a few teams that could even make that trade.
absolutely. The one that's the most interesting to me, even though it would be a short lived marriage, is if Giannis ended up in San Antonio with Wembanyama.
Good luck getting to the rim.
Would be gross. Would be absolutely
Oh
gross.
shit, dude. We'd be talking
Yeah.
about they'd be the next Duncan Robinson. Remember when Timmy was a youngster?
True.
Oh shit.
True.
Twin Towers times 2.
True. And it kind of sets up for it, but the Giannis sweepstakes is going to be real nuts once we get done with this playoff cycle. Yeah, I still don't know if I first really see him leaving Milwaukee, because to me, San Antonio is an upgrade over Milwaukee, but I also live in the Southwest, so I'm kind of used to San Antonio. I don't know about what he would think about it, but in that you have the best two GMs in the NBA who are going to go out and give, trying to make this thing happen, and Pressey is the one holding the Infinity Stones for what a team would look for to be able to get him. What if he went to LA? I don't know if they have anything really to offer Milwaukee. Yeah, they don't have anything really to offer Milwaukee. Even even if you straight up gave him LeBron, I don't even think Milwaukee would go for that. You're gonna need some pieces to play with, and I don't think LA has them.
And that's the problem too, Tyson, is the NBA wants Giannis to go to a big and popular market, but there's so few teams. There's probably only 2 or 3, maybe 4 teams that have the ammo to get the Greek Freak, man, because you're going to need probably 3, maybe 4 first rounders, a couple second rounders, plus 2 to 3 good, young, promising players. This is a package that very few teams can put together. And of course, RG, we know the Lakers have traded like every first round pick for
one
the
other
next
team
30
I
years,
failed to mention about it as well too. Houston has some pieces to play with. Yeah, Houston has some pieces to play with. And talking about putting them in a big market, Houston is the 4th largest city in the country. And with the go ahead.
No, okay, I want to get on something real quick. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, well, I just saw Tyson. No, man, we never do this. But anyways, the Clippers, Tyson Baxter's talking about the Clippers. They maybe have the ammo, they maybe not, but I think they might be gun shy because they're seeing what happened to one of the worst trades ever in Paul George for all those picks in SGA. They might be gun shy. The only thing I said is Steve Ballmer has balls, man. This guy is maybe the richest man in the NBA. I'd have to look it up, but Ballmer is even richer than Paul Allen with all of his Microsoft stock, as crazy as that is to believe. So anything can happen there, but go ahead, man. It's going to be interesting, and maybe he stays put, but the NBA, for some reason, they thrive on their offseason drama.
Yeah, Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Los Angeles Clippers, with an estimated net worth of $128 billion.
Oh, $128 billion.
Man's got what I like to call that fuck you money.
Yeah. And what's the use of having that money if you don't say fuck you with it now and then?
That's all he's done from the moment he bought that team. I want to play here. I'll build my own arena.
That's literal. And Los Angeles is one of the toughest places to build anywhere because of all of the permitting and the restrictions in terms of how much land is even available. Must have been an absolute bitch and a headache, but that's what money does for you.
And I only know this from firsthand from getting a chance to go to the Eagles-Rams game. It's right off of Century Boulevard. And for those of you who don't understand anything about Century Boulevard, that road runs straight to LAX. And I literally, all day that Sunday, saw people land, not rent cars, not get Ubers, not take taxis, walk to the stadium and walk right back to hotel row into the airport. Just location. Just it sets up really nice for them too. But it's still LA. There's so much going on. We even talked about it about a year and a half back. They had 7 major events going on at one time in one day, and it shut down traffic in the city for almost 15 hours.
And I love to complain about traffic. Well, it's not like that up here.
I tell people all the time whenever we're traveling through some of these, and I'm like, we just drove through neighborhoods that more people live in one section of this city than live in my entire state.
God bless New Mexico, man. But hey, I'm still gonna be rooting hard for someone to knock OKC out, but I got to be real to myself. It breaks my heart. This team looks really good, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if they won it all, man.
They do. They look like they have what it takes to get it done. Now it's time to get to the pay window. Can you close it out at home? Because you don't want to give these guys life. They under no circumstance want to take that trip back up to Minneapolis. Even though Minneapolis is nice this time of year, hopefully for the way that they think about it, this is the last we've seen in Minneapolis until it's cold.
Well, and Mariners will be seeing Minneapolis too. I guess they're coming to Seattle, but that's neither here nor there, man. Come on, Wolves. Epic comeback time. And if it comes down to it, just break their hearts in the finals. But you know what? I was having a little back and forth with somebody on social media earlier this week, RG, and a lot of people in my age group chimed in agreeing with me. I told them the 96 Sonics are a better team than these current OKC Thunder, even if OKC wins it all. And I stand on that shit. They took the best basketball team ever to 6 games. OKC doesn't have that challenge. I see your wry smile. I stand on that shit. They ain't playing nobody like the 72 win Bulls. They are not playing no 72 win Bulls, man. My Sonics would cream this squad.
Maybe. Be a good matchup. Be a good matchup. I can't. I'd love to see Sean Kemp Thunder dunk on Chet. I wouldn't mind that one bit.
Oh!
Gary Payton would be in 3 fights, one in each half, and in the locker room after the game. And all Hershey Hawkins would do is make free throws.
Oh, Hershey. Oh, I love how you brought him up. I love that, dude.
Yes, sir. Good times, man. Good times. Let's talk about the other series, too. Indianapolis and the Knicks. After the Knicks epically choke away game 1 and then get big boyed in game 2, they go into Indianapolis with Brunson really being on the bench with foul trouble and are playing better with Brunson out than they were with him in the game, and found a way to steal a game up there. One of the guys, I find him the most interesting player in the NBA, Karl Anthony Towns, because when he wants to play, he's a beast. And then there's just certain times where he falls in love thinking that he's one of the greatest shooters that's ever lived. And like my man Bobani Jones says, has a hard time beating the allegations of being the 7-foot buster. But he sure did. He sure did come out with 20 points in the 4th quarter last night and help power the Knicks past Indianapolis. The Indiana Pacers. I think that this throwback series is really good. I love the disdain that both organizations have for each other, that former players are all invested in it, that it has carried over into the new group of players, and even WWE got involved in it last year, having Halliburton and Jalen Brunson stand toe-to-toe in the ring last year. I think it's great. Might be the end of the NBA's ratings if we end up getting Farmtown versus Farmtown for the finals. But hey, there's some fun being had in the Eastern Conference as well, too.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I want to rewind just for 1 sec, though. Huge shout out to Jaden McDaniels from Federal Way, doing work for the T-Wolves. One of the premier 3-and-D players in the league. Federal Way, south of Seattle, if y'all are out-of-towners here listening. But, RG, man, it's really fun to have this series back, though. And I can't lie, It made me love Tyrese Halliburton a little bit when he brought back the Reggie Miller choking, baby. Oh, boy, did I love that shit. A little homage to the old school. Some people are tripping about it. I think those people didn't know the history behind it. Guys like us who really watched a lot of 90s basketball growing up in this world, man. You remember this rivalry like it was yesterday. It is so much fun to see, man. And the guard plays spectacular, but you're right. Carl Anthony Towns, man, his talent is outrageous. If, like you said, just get down by the hoop a little more, bro. Get down in the mix a little bit more, and you
Absolutely.
can
I mean, he
be
has the talent
as
to do
elite
what he
as
needs
it
to do from
gets.
the outside, but get there, get down in there. Put some pressure on Miles Turner down there. Because really, once they get Miles Turner out of the game, they don't really have anybody else that can keep up with him. And he has that Zach Randolph vertical, where he might not be able to jump over a phone book, but just played spectacular last night. They can't take anything away from him. Played spectacular, but we did get some good news today. They have lifted the ban off of Tyrese Halliburton's dad, so he'll be able to come back in the building. Maybe he might find his way down there pregame and mix it up a little bit before they make him go sit in the suites. It is, bro.
Dude, that
It
shit's
is, and I
awesome,
get
man.
it.
I
I
love
get it.
that.
You definitely don't want a fan because that's what he is in that moment. He's a fan, and you don't want a fan interacting with the player like that. But I'm here for the smoke.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's right, but for the TV watching pleasure, I mean, I was one of those rare people. I don't know if you were or not. I was actually watching the basketball game when the Malice in the Palace happened. And do you think I was sitting there like, golly, this is just too bad. These fans need to learn how to behave themselves. I was like, oh my God, this shit is crazy. So sometimes you know it might not be right, but
We
for
were at
TV
a
watching,
casino
oh
here in New
hell yeah,
Mexico,
bring all that smoke.
and someone from the other side of the bar from where we were sitting just starts screaming. He's like, "Look, look, look!" And at the time I happened to look up, is when Jermaine O'Neal just throws that flight from and just knocks that fan right out. It was. Have you seen the Netflix documentary on it? Yeah, it's good. It's a good one for those of you who haven't seen it.
Yeah,
It's a good
yeah.
one for those of you who haven't seen it.
Fantastic.
Yes, sir. I love it, man. I just love it. I even love that the guy who won the Indianapolis 500 went in full racing uniform with his helmet and sat there courtside the whole game, having the time of his life. Good times. Good times, man. Yes, sir. Just getting ready to get to the end of it. This is Memorial Day, the unofficial start of summer. The summer solstice doesn't kick off by the calendar until June 20th, but you know what it is, man. Once we get these brats and burgers on the dogs on the grill today, it's full steam ahead. It's full steam ahead. So that's what it also means too is that in 4 weeks we're going to be stuck with nothing but the Mariners to drive us insane while they're going through the dog days of summer to see if we can keep this lead we have in the American League West.
Well, one way or the other, we'll be there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, so you going to the game on Saturday?
Yes, sir. It looks like I'm going with one of my oldest friends. We actually worked together and we played baseball for 2 years together when we were 11 and 12. Whooped the shit out of. We were 22-0 when we were 12,
Oh,
taking no
damn.
prisoners.
Oh, damn. We live in the Sandlot days.
I talk about these punks that peak in junior high. Did I peak at 12? What the fuck happened there, man?
Yeah, it's all right. You're the co-host of one of the hottest up-and-coming podcasts that the world has ever seen. And again, we thank each of you rocking with us in the live chat. Ty, is there anything else you got for the people?
Shout out to all the homies in the live chat, and hold yours up too, RG, because I had this close to my heart as well. We have our American flags for our grandpas that served this wonderful country. It is Memorial Day. There is no words to express our gratitude, but we can always give our condolences and say all the prayers for those family members. Thank you to all of those soldiers, and may God bless their families, man, because that's all we could really ask for.
In the words of Lee Greenwood, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died who gave that right to me. So yeah, man, no place else I'd rather be. We got our problems, and our problems aren't really as big as the things that unite us. So, yes, sir. Everybody, hope you had a safe day today. Don't have too much to drink and drive because you might spill your beer. That's dangerous.
Something like that.
Yes, sir. This is My Own Mind, another sports podcast brought to you by the good folks of Vadium Podcast Services who make this show come to life each and every Sunday. And we do thank you for joining us for this holiday edition of the show. Big shout out to our super producer, Indy, rocking the mothership back there in Nashville, Tennessee, making it do what it do. Don't forget to check out his music page, also here on YouTube, at Death to Indy. Check out some of his tracks. Also, DM him, man. We're always down to have guests. We're always down to expand the show. And thank you for supporting us the way that you do each and every week. Big shout out to our social media director, Ms. Katie Masamoto. Thank you for all you do, keeping us relevant in the social world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Couldn't make this happen without you. The live show does take place normally Sundays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. When work calls, we got to answer the call. Me and Tyler aren't rich or superstars yet. So until you guys help us get to where we want to get, sometimes our real life take over. But again, we thank you for joining us on this special Monday episode. Don't forget that the live recording of this podcast does come out every Tuesday morning on whatever platform you like to get your podcast from. I prefer Apple Music. Don't forget to follow us on our socials at MyOhMyASP. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Twitch. You can find us on OnlyFans. We like to call ourselves the Chunkindales, and we have a new routine coming out next Wednesday for you. Couldn't make this happen without Indy rocking the mothership in Nashville, Tennessee. That's my man Ty Talks 22 holding it down for Little Lake Stevens, Washington. I'm your boy RG repping the Cinco Settle Cinco, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Hold it down for us. I'll be out next week, work calls, but Tyler and Indy will be here to give you a good show and see what kind of surprises they have. We thank you for being with us. We hope you have a happy holiday. And always, thank you for supporting us here at My Own Mind. It's another sports podcast.